Imagine a community planning for the future by leveraging technology and relationships. Investing in trails, parks, and a nature center for a better quality of life. Maintaining 531 miles of water and sewer lines to keep up with growth. Imagine a community building capacity to guarantee residents always have water flowing into and out of their homes. One that's preparing for the next big storm with $50 million in drainage improvements and new response capabilities acquired through federal funding. Imagine a community continually improving mobility by maintaining and improving over 500 miles of roads. Imagine a community optimizing water usage by bringing over 37,000 meters online to report in near real time. Now imagine that you live here, because you do. Pearland is a community with a short-term investment plan and a long-term focus on growth. So sit back and relax. The City of Pearland is hard at work on your behalf. Welcome the Honorable Mayor Tom Reed.
Wow. Hey! Thanks for being here, and I'm glad I live in Pearland after all of this and right next to Memorial Hermann Hospital. If I don't survive here, I know where I'm going to wind up and be taken care of. Thank you for being here. And as we go through the process, I thought we'd do something like, let's start back where Pearland started and carry us on through. And at this stage of it, we're talking about the growth of the city from nothing to the leadership at that time, and then what we accomplished over the past year of 1918. So, crank it up. Celebrating Pearland, how we started. We started with the railroads coming from Houston into Alvin, and Santa Fe did a wonderful depot for us. And in the process of doing that, we had a count from Poland came in, Zelensky. He decided he was going to build a facility here. So he did. He took it down, got it certified, filed, and he called it P-E-A-R-L-A-N-D. Notice the hyphenation? He called it Pear, and then he couldn't figure out how to finish it up, so it's called Land. So I'm glad he did, because I can remember that. The area citizen lived through 1900 storm in Galveston, and they celebrated World War I. And in 1959, we incorporated as what is called a general law city. And a general law city, at that time, if you're a council member, you're really a commissioner. You're not a council member until later on in the program. I'll have us in another form of government in which we can be called council members. In 1990, a lot of things happened in our city. You know, 518 stopped at Cullen Boulevard and continued on down to I-45. But we extended that all the way to 288 and provided the growth opportunities we need for our rice, oil, and ranching activities that we have in Pearland. And when we got the 288 open, it provided an opportunity for us to get into the city of Houston, Texas Medical Center, and it did something very special that really started making Pearland what we are today, and that is economic development on the west side. And we had cities that are located in all over the country that are small, but to be able to develop properly, you had to have the leadership. And the proper leadership we were able to acquire at that time. Individuals in the community, I could name some of the old family names, they were the ones that helped make this thing happen as we went through. City manager and the councils, over the period of growth, made a contribution so that Pearland is going to receive recently an awful lot of national recognition, which I think is very superb. Let's see what we have the leadership in Pearland today, because it's kind of different today than what it used to be. Here's our city council. Where is the city council? Would you stand up? Want to recognize them? They are a legislative governing body of the city per our charter. And notice the formation that we're in. We're going to attack a big problem, and I'm not quite sure what that is. But I think each one of you recognize the guys here. But the rest of the leadership starts at our city manager. Clay, where are you sitting? Stand up, so everybody take a shot at you. Save all of the tomatoes because we need it for salad. Pearland growth today, we started with a depot, and a guy wanted to do a development called Pear-Land. And it's an interesting thing. In the year 2000, which is the turn of the century, we were 38,000 people. And today we're 130,000 people, just 18 years later. Isn't that interesting? So let's look at our progress today and that we experienced in 2018, and as we continued our positive growth. Did you know this about, I thought I'd do something here a little different to kind of have a good bridging between what we used to be and what we are today. Do you know this about Pearland? The rice silos were built in 1940 when Texas was in a great rice growing enterprise. And we actually rivaled the Indochina, where it was the world's largest ice growing area. Silos were built, and for years that used to be one of the three landmarks: silos, depot, and the airport. Everybody knew that because everybody knows those flashing yellow light back in the old days. There are many cities around the world that are the same name. We had Paris, Texas, and Paris, France. And when you check around, there are an awful lot of those options. But a worldwide survey was conducted a number of years ago from a gentleman that asked me, said, "Are there any other Pearlands in the world?" He checked, he said, "No, there are no other cities in the world named Pearland." Isn't that interesting? We are alone and special. Where are they now? I thought it'd be interesting to find out what happened to some of our citizens. Randy Weber, you remember him? He was former city council member, mayor pro tem, and today he's a U.S. Congressman, District 14. How about Ed Thompson? Is Ed here today? That's right, he's down in Austin, and we're afraid he's down there with a whole bunch of his cohorts. He was a former mayor, council member and a former mayor pro tem, and he's now the state representative, District 29. And a lot of you remember our recent council member, former council member, and mayor pro tem, Greg Hill. He's now the judge in Brazoria County District number 4, court number 4. Isn't it fine how some of our guys have made some good progress? And and I'm so glad I'm here to report it. Did you know that our 70 square miles footprint overlays 6 school districts, independent school districts in the area? Alvin, Clear Lake, Fort Bend County, Houston, Pasadena, and Pearland. Did y'all know that? I didn't until I ran across it. There's in an article one time. But I think that's wonderful because each one of those are very special. Did you know that Pearland is a wildlife reserve? It's home to a wide variety of wildlife. But the two that have surprised our citizens when they come in is that, hey, you've got bald eagles and you've got alligators. There's a picture on the left is a bald eagle mother feeding her young eaglets. And the alligator on the right, he posed for a picture, but he had to hurry off to get some lunch. He was a little busy. See you later, alligator. How about our financial upstate? Now we're beginning to get into the real heart of our city from here on out. City Council and staff have established strong controls and regulations and policies for our financial activities, and our health economy has helped us to build a city that is called Pearland today. Cynthia, sitting over here somewhere, I saw her come in a while ago. Cynthia Pearson is our finance director, And she has done a superb job in our city financial documentation, purchasing, preparation of the annual budget, and a number of other things like pay. City council members get a little small stipend, but she's the one that sends us the check. So we're always happy to know that. City property and sales tax. Your property tax funds our city, and all of the things we do in the city. Whatever is in the city, the streets, parks department, individuals we meet. Race too far, you're going to meet one of our police officers. If you have a little burning pain, you've got a fire chief sitting over there, they'll take care of us. And when we float a bond issue, it also pays for the specifics of the bond issue for our advancements and completing the capital improvements plans that we'll talk about in a few minutes. City Council levies a property tax that is kind of special. It's the county appraisal district goes through the process of evaluating the value of each one of the structures in Brazoria County. And the city levies a tax rate, which I think right now is 0.68, I believe. And that number times each 100 of the certified appraisal value gives you the number of your tax bill. And when you look at the tax bill, don't look at the number at the bottom and say, my taxes are too high. Look at what's above that, because it's the county, a school, a number of other numbers that give you the big number down at the bottom of the check, of the bill that you get. So, but we're doing what I feel is a quality city progress and service with a really reasonable amount of taxes. I tried to put this in some kind of a visual, Charlie McMurray can understand this here. He works for our county and he does a superb job there. Start at 1991, it was 880 cents, and in 2018 it was 68 cents. And if you do that in a different fashion, and I found that I read the business journal and I saw one of these and I said, why don't I try this? So I'm trying it out on you. Maybe this will work. Our tax rate in the year 1990 was 80 cents. And the green line goes down to 68 cents in 2018. But you look at the population. We were 18,700 in 1990, and today we're 130,320. Notice the tax rate's going down, population's going up. You want to keep that going like that. And I think a quality city is able to accomplish that. And I'm sure we're going to probably make it even better if Ed Thompson doesn't mess us up down in Austin. And the thing, I think most of you, there are a lot of accountants in town and in this meeting today, and when they look at that chart, they're going to say, they're doing a pretty good job down in Pearland. And what that tells us, those AA's and A's and A3s and so forth, it says that we pay our bills, and we've had good performance history in doing that. Economic development. Matt Buchanan is sitting back over there somewhere, and I'm going to brag about him just a little bit. A city election was held in 1995 to establish an economic development organization with a sales tax to help support our city's development and our tax base. And as we went through the process of doing that in an election, citizens came out with 95% of that. And the citizens approved the establishment of the Pearland Economic Development Corporation, which Matt Buchanan and that fine board of directors have taken and have built into something very special in the city. And we'll see some more about what they have accomplished as we go through the presentation today. That's a good picture of Matt. He's recruited an awful lot of good quality businesses out on, and he's then most of that, and to showcase them, they're out on Kirby Drive, which is Lower Kirby Development. And I think it's kind of interesting how he spaced those out. They also had 2020 plan that was developed by the city and the Economic Development Corporation to set a guideline for economic growth, enhancement of the city's appearance, and a number of other activities that they're engaged in. And the enhancement of our corridors and entrances, we'll have some pictures of those just a little bit later in the presentation. When you go out there, these are not necessarily in order of their appearance, but just sort of, I want to talk about this because it was done this year, 2018. And some of those out there, I won't be talking about like Mitsubishi and some of the other organizations that we've talked about before. But they had a grand opening in April of last year. It's a 300,000 square foot manufacturing facility, which is the first of its kind in the world, and its largest facility dedicated to cell and gene therapy. Their home office is in Switzerland. I thought it was kind of interesting. We've had a first Japanese development in Pearland, which is Mitsubishi, we talked about several years ago. And here's the first one for Pearland. Our CEO there, Mark Funk, I believe he lives in Pearland now. Lonza is committed to the evolution of a diverse medical and life science community in Pearland and the greatest Houston area for the many years to come. And I thought that was really a nice thing for him to say about Pearland. Next chart. Adent Medical, it's kind of interesting. This was started in a garage. And how many Silicon Valley organizations like this have started in the garage? And he's now out at Reflection Bay, one of the offices out there. That's a home office now. And their director, Mitch, said, we're very thrilled to have transitioned from a garage startup to our new headquarters in Pearland. And that's a very interesting organization. They do something called absorbable, implantable medical devices. When you plug them into you, they disappear. Two-flow manufacturing. They're setting up, they're just down there in an 80,000 square foot building on Kirby Drive as well. They're the headquarters of that organization. And they produce a lot of oil, gas, aerospace, and medical supplies. And it's a wide variety of opportunity for the sales force. And I also had Dennis Flolo, the president, say we spent a lot of time searching for property, and we're going to be very happy here in Pearland. We need a lot more people coming in and leaving messages like this. I think that tells us an awful lot about our progress in Pearland. Rex Supplies, right down the way from there. And anybody here from Rex Supply? Well, they have built a facility out there on Kirby Drive as well that it's kind of interesting, 46,000 square foot building, and it's two supplies right next to another facility out there that we just spoke about. Energy Rental Solutions, Caterpillar organization. They're out on Rice Dryer Road, and one of not the reason why the silos have been removed or in the process of being removed is that they were about to crater in the first place. They went out to check it out, slammed the door, and one of the walls fell out. So it was time for them to go. But this is sitting right next to where that particular depot position was. And it's on that same 10 acres where this was being seated. So next slide. Endress.
Ed's here.
Huh?
Ed Thompson. Okay.
Oh, good. Ed Dress Hauser, that's another Switzerland home office facility. They're not built yet, but they're in the process of building a 100,000 square foot facility, and there are a number of other offices around the Houston area, and they're going to bring them all out here for our development. And I think the location on Pearland, in Pearland on Beltway 8, and the upcoming 288 corridor, toll road, I think we're going to be attracting a lot more of these people that don't want to be downtown Houston, but they want to be out where they can get there real fast if they need to. And their president also made the comment that with the facility in Pearland, we can show our strong commitment to our customers. I think that's great. I appreciate that. One of the things, and now we're back to Matt Buchanan here, and his, I think it's something very special for us because they made Pearland a lot beautiful in doing the corridor enhancements. And when you stop and think about it, I drive down, I come off the Beltway sometimes and go down Pearland Parkway. Wow, look at this. Come off of Beltway 8, come down Cullen Boulevard. I said, wow, I can't believe this. We're going to continue this to show you some pictures in a few minutes. But we've completed already this enhancement on Kirby Drive, Cullen Boulevard, and Dixie Farm Road. And we're working on one that if you live in Friendswood, we're building one just inside the Pearland boundary from Friendswood. And it's in work now, and it's going to be something similar to the little monument off to the left and some more of that type support. Highway 35, I mentioned a while ago, was one of the ones that was the enhancements. And it's in work. And the little lady sitting there in front of the flowers in the nice little bricked area, that will be on Highway 35 at 518. So that's what 35 is going to be looking like in the future, all the way through. The next one down is what 288 will look like when we start doing the enhancement of that particular 288 corridor. And if you look, see it pretty easily, you see a bunch of cars on the 288 road, and off the side you can see the little thing sticking up. Off to the right, the Pearl sculpture is what those are. And when you drive down, you're going to have to say, wow, I'm impressed. That's great. Before I go into this, Ed Thompson just showed up. Ed, stand up over there. You did all those good things we sent you down there to do, didn't you? But we're going to talk to the rest of them, make sure they do it. Capital Improvements Program. Ed, thank you so much for your service to us. Were you here when I showed you as one of the former council members from Mayor Pro Tem? Good. Good. I like that. Good. Make sure you get recognized for the good job that you do, and the fact that he was Pearland High School president one time. He was economic development president one time. He was city council Mayor Pro Tem one time. And now he's our representative in Austin. I think that's great. Pearland citizens formed a home rule city in 1971 and approved a city charter that included a requirement that we have a 5-year continuing capital improvements program to take care of all the things that need to be built. Everything that the city builds, roads, everything, parks, sidewalks, that's all part of our capital improvements program. Also, there's a little library across from City Hall, and we went through the process of upgrading that. Did you know that's the first library in Pearland? Yeah, and it started out as a pool hall on Grand Boulevard years ago. Did you know that? It is also in a Pearland Annex, which has been cleaned out and got city staff working there now. It's had a little journey around, but it's the most used library in Missouri County. And if you have a chance to go in there, it's quite impressive. We did an awful lot. We expanded by another almost 9,000 population. And then we also went through the process of making sure a number of upgrades in there. When I first went in there years ago, the book racks was so high I couldn't see the other wall at the other end of the building. Now they're lower, more productive, and I could see all the way through the city, all the way through the library over there. Good progress in that respect. Dolores Fenwick Nature Center. Dolores is sitting right back over here. Stick your hand up, Dolores. That's named after Dolores Fenwick. You know, it's sitting right next to the Stella Roberts Recycling Center, and she was on a Houston-Galveston Area Council regional board, and also got the money for that, for the Recycle Center as well. So we had some good production out of her, and she's done a superb job. But it has a lot of environmental plays, and you notice, remember, we had the council picture taken there. And I don't think they messed it up too much, but it's not complete, and we're in the process of making it something very special. You know, it's kind of interesting too. It's right in a place where nature can be observed in a positive fashion. It's got the Recycle Center, and it's got the Nature Center. We've got that huge detention pond, which is a lake out there. And we've got an awful lot of other opportunities, like there's a park out there. There's also the jogging trails around the detention pond. I think it's a great idea, and we're going to look forward to seeing what it looks like when it gets to do the ribbon cutting on it pretty soon, I hope. Fire station number 1. There's a good story about that. When the guys came back from World War II into Pearland, we didn't have a fire department, we didn't have anything. And the guys came back and they formed a volunteer fire department. And then later we built a fire station 1, and that was the only one we had for years. And then we're up to 8, working on number 8 now. But it's kind of interesting how when we decided that we needed to build a fire station to serve that area that it serves, it's usually a service area. Every station has a different service area. And when we built that, we decided to keep the same number and sort of honoring and remembering our first fire station and the people who made it happen. And we've got a number of people still working here that are in the fire department that used to be in the old volunteer group at one time. Okay. Water supply, that belongs in Clarence's area. He's Director of Public Works. You know, when you think about water, potable water sources for today and tomorrow, that's going to be in big trouble in future years. You remember the article about the people in South Africa who had to live, the family had to live on 14 gallons a day. And I don't know whether they cleared that all up because it's all desert over there now. So we're very fortunate that in recognizing that we have a potential to have water supply problems in the future, and our city water system depends on water. We went out and over the number of years, we acquired 54 million gallons per day ground and surface water service in the future. Part of that 54 million gallons is 20 million out of the Brazos River, which we acquired from the Gulf Coast Water Authority. And Clarence has done a super job, and he's now looking at the city's idea of doing a surface water treatment plant. A 10 million gallon one can be expanded as needed. And it's in the planning stage in the west side of Pearland. And the plant will be built on city property over there using the Brazos River water from the American Canal that flows through the south part of the piece of where the plant will be, and it just worked out just great. We acquired the water years ago. We need the plant now. We're looking for the future. It's right down in Pearland. Canal runs through South Pearland. How can you miss with a deal like that? City mobility projects. You know, when they say mobility, that's roads, highways, and things. Right now, we have in construction Max Road, Old Loud Road, Highway 288 Toll Road, and Hughes Range Road. And in a planning stage, McCard Road, McCawa, and 518, and Smith Ranch Road. Now the 518 one will be from 288 down to Cullen, and it will be a TxDOT job, but we've got to do most of the work and make sure we get the right of ways and things like that. So it's a partnership there. When we work with our regional and neighbors doing things, I think things work out a lot better. How you like that? That's what, so Toll Road, 288 Toll Road, and the Beltway 8, looking down, and showed this to Clay Pearson, and he said, hey, I can see the city of Houston in the background up there, and you can. You can see part of Houston up there. That's what it looks today. We're hoping it's going to be finished by September of this year. Keep your fingers crossed. But I'd have to do a call out, yell out to our County Judge Sylvester and our Commissioner Stacey Adams, because they're on the toll road, they're on the Brazoria County Toll Road Authority, which is putting in the portion of this whole toll road issue. They're putting in the Pearland part of it. When it gets past the 288, past the Beltway 8, really, it's all in Harris County, and it's being handled by TxDOT. You got to talk about quality of life when you're in Pearland. Quality of life, if we don't build a city that people want to live, work, and play in, they're going to go find one. And we don't have an awful lot of people coming in and saying, wow, this is where we'll live. And they stay here, and there's a reason why they do. It's, you know, we've got good schools, good health, local health care facilities, quality of life and everything. Where can you find a city that's a better place to live than this? Miss Ira Blake. Miss Blake, would you stand up over there? She has been sworn in. That's a picture of her up there. She's received the medallion from Dr. Renee Couture, who's the chancellor of University of Houston System. And that was really a great event. I was honored to be the third speaker, and my picture's up there really in the academic robe. And they said if I go ahead and get my doctorate degree, I get a hat like the rest of those guys up there. So I'm working on that. Dr. Blake, working hard on that. Next slide. And that's a picture of her up close here in a civilian clothes here. So the highlights and accomplishments of the Pearland campus, offering a master's degrees in science and engineering management. They upgraded the Pearland campus to a 4-year bachelor's through graduate degree program. They signed an agreement with Alvin Community College to take their college, academic college in ACC, which is an associate degree program, and convert that into a University of Houston bachelor's program. That's kind of tricky to do that, but it's working out real well. And she has a formal opening of the new health science building, which ought to follow right behind this. If you see the version on the right, you're driving Pearland Parkway just before you get to 288, and just before you get to Beltway, excuse me. And you look at, just before you get to the entrance of the campus, that looked like an angle the shot was made from. And you can see it, the one on the left shows us where the students have open opportunities. Dr. Albert, I understand she's out at another out-of-town mission, but the Arlington Community College offers career and technically focused curriculum that prepare people to want to go into a four-year college. Not everybody wants to go, but if you go through the program they have, that's great. It partners with Pearland Turner College to provide the freshman and sophomore general educational classes, and that's a partnership that we have with them and our Turner College, which is Pearland Independent School District. I have 152 students that graduated with associate degrees 2 weeks before the graduation day. And the majority of those were from Pearland Turner College, which is part of it's out west of town, and it's part of the City of Pearland's advanced position and educational opportunities before they go into the college of choice in the future. And they signed an agreement with University of Clear Lake to transfer their degree programs from associate to bachelor's programs. Here's a picture of it. Dr. Blake is on the left there. Dr. Albert is on the right. And I think I can't remember what the school names are, what their team names are, but everybody has a team name, and they also showed us what the team names look like. And so we'll proceed on to Pearland Independent School District. It was kind of interesting. Dr. Kelly said that 641 students received National AP Scholarship Award, and that's a precursor to National Honor Roll. And SAT scores have gone up significantly, and most of the students were eligible for the National Merit Scholarships and finalist positions. And the Texas Commission on Education, and this is something that's very special about this particular comment. They were selected to be the third highest scoring of 116 large school districts in Texas, and they were number 3 of all of those 116 students, other schools. Dr. Kelly, stand up and take a bow. But being a football fan, Pearland High School marching band has been chosen as one of the 20 marching bands worldwide, from the 20 worldwide, to march in the 2020 New Year's Tournament of Roses. Can you believe that? Get on your television, turn your television on New Year's 2020 at the Tournament of Roses, and our band is one of 20 chosen from around the world. I think that's fabulous. There's a good picture of it, Dr. Kelly on the left. The next 3 people are with the Texas Commission on Education, and the last 2 are chairman of the House and Senate Education Committee. The one on the right is Larry Taylor. He's the senator from Friendswood. Did y'all know him? And he's down there busy too. I hope Ed Thompson lobbied with him pretty well on things we want to do up here. Pearland has placed security vestibules such as this as part of our campus safety and security. We went out in front of everybody after what happened down there in Galveston, in the little county of Galveston down there. The school had a terrible situation that happened when so many kids and people were killed. And Turner College is also part of Pearland Independent School District and is highly diverse enrollment. It has 1,200 students from all different kinds of community diversity. And it's a good pathway to college when you go through the Turner College operation, which is part of the high school environment. And has 263 students graduated, with 1/3 earning an associate degree from ACC. Got a little partnership there working with those two. And had 263 that were earned over a number of credentials in 40 different certification areas. And they do so many things, and they use certifications and CAT scores and everything. It's hard to keep up with all of the good things that they've done, but I've been impressed with what they've accomplished. And as you probably remember, Buck Gilchrist retired just, I believe, 2 weeks or last week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. And I'd already had done a short, so I just kept his picture up there. And he's not the superintendent anymore, but we don't have a superintendent decision made over there, so I just left him up there. He's my superintendent for our Independent School District until we get one. He celebrated his first class. And the thing he did was, I thought that was kind of interesting. He's been there 4 years, and he celebrated the first graduating class of Shadow Creek High School. That is Alvin Independent School District working in Shadow Creek Ranch for Pearland school kids. Because you saw how those, we overlaid so many school districts. Well, he's the school district out there that we overlaid, and he's working for Pearland kids. Passed a bond issue last year that will help him to add to the 9 campuses that currently are serving Pearland school districts in the Shadow Creek area. Honored Dr. Blake. We did that with I gave him a proclamation, and it was really a nice event. I really enjoyed that. And one of the things we did was honor Shadow Creek Sharks, who in their first year of varsity high school training, football, played for the state championship. And they didn't quite win, but I tell you, I thought that was so very special. Nobody else has ever done that. I think they're the second one in the high school football, along with the long 100-yard punt return that they picked up and ran back. And that's kind of unique when that happens like that. He also, this last year, dedicated their 7th junior high school to Dr. McNair, who was an astronaut in the Space Challenger. And when you stop and think about it, that's the 7th junior high school in Shadow Creek Ranch area. And that's a lot of population out there, and they have done a good partnership with them. Next slide. I think when you stop and think about it, we started out with University of Houston Clear Lake and the Pearland campus working together. And then we had the Alvin Community College has made cooperative and cooperation with our school kids in Pearland. Then we had the Alvin Independent School District, like right now they're taking care of our kids out in Shadow Creek Ranch. And then we have Pearland Independent School District. We have 5 school districts there. 5 educational opportunities have all come together to make education in the Pearland area superb. And I know we have the Alvin Independent School District has done a superb thing in helping us all the way through. Would our director stand up? Assistant Superintendent, would you just stand up and take a bow for that? John, you take a bow for that. Doctor, and I think it all started when we put the Pearland campus in from the University of Houston Clear Lake, and brought all of these educational groups together. Isn't it wonderful that the regional organizations can take place with regional support groups? Thank you guys for what you've done there. Johnny Spires, police chief. What a police chief he has turned out to be. He's just quite a guy. The department has staff of 241 people, 170 sworn police officers, and 71 civilians who are very important. Some of those who get into jail, that's one of his civilian people. Over 1,300 people have attended and have been graduated from their Citizen Police Academy process, and they've overbooked the people for the next class that's coming up. You are interested in that? Chief Spires is sitting right back over here to my left, and he'll be happy to bring you into his Citizen Police Academy process. And all police officers have been certified as mental health police officers, and the community outreach programs that they have participated in, such as the Scout Troop, Explorer Troop, and youth leadership opportunities with the police department and public work and public safety areas. They've done a great job over there. Anybody got a fire going? Oh, we got the chief of fire department here. Did you know that last year that they had 6 fire stations, and they served over 10,000 service calls? Can you believe that in 1 year? He's extending it. He's in the process of extending the emergency response capabilities, and he's going to add 6 more people this year, which will bring him up to over 100 firefighters. And we have what is called an onboarding process, in which we will be onboarding personnel in a planned fashion over the next several years until we get up to the, as long as our finance director will keep paying bills, we'll be able to make our city one of the safest fire cities in the area. I think that's important. And began construction on a new Fire Station 1. We talked about Fire Station 1 a while ago. Well, he's talking about, right now it's under construction, it's called Fire Station 8. And we'll be stepping back a little bit later in the year, this year or maybe next year, we'll start doing Station 7. So it's kind of interesting how we've named those. But the picture, I think, is just great, and it's designed to meet 140 mile per hour wind load standards. It's 18,000 square foot building, and it probably won't be completed until 2020. Parks and Recreation. You know, Chris, if you haven't met Chris Solia, he's quite an interesting person. He lives down in Missouri County, not too far from us, and he's had a superb job here. He and the Convention and Visitor Bureau and Pearland Independent School District I guess they not only hosted it, but they all hosted it. And he was the one that did set up the programming for the activities. John Kelly set up all the schools with different kinds of for different activities, for volleyball, boxing, whatever. And our Convention and Tourist Bureau, which we'll visit in just a few minutes, also provided for the tourist people coming in and helping them find the location where their kids are having some activities. I think it's kind of nice. And he will provide the staffing for Dolores Fenwick Nature Center and also the John Hargrove area out there, which is, includes the detention pond and other areas. When you got to checking his record, he was one of only 11 cities in the state of Texas to be recertified with a gold level scenic certification for 2018. And there are a lot of cities in Texas, 1,214. And he's one of only 11 that have been recertified. I don't know how he did that, but it must have been a pretty good party. And invite me next time to that party when they do the certification. And the last one, I think, is something that I need to read to you. I don't try to read all these, but I do want to read this one. They were recertified by the Commission on Accreditation of Parks and Recreation, which is CAPRA, and placed Pearland in a premier group comprising 1% of all parks and recreation facilities in the nation. Chris, you're done good. You're done good. And our Director of Communication, if you haven't run across that guy yet, Joshua Lee. He's hanging around here, and I think he's got so many talents that the clock says I'm out of time. But he has set up an awful lot of new programs in Pearland, and we hadn't been here too long, about 9 months, and I think we need to keep an eye on programs that he's been able to work in place and put in place. And of course, Kim Sensatori with the highlights of Convention and Business Bureau. She was also host on the winter programs that we just had, the winter plans. And is working in partnership with the Pearland Historical Society to upgrade the depot to a historical museum, promoted and consolidated the tourist-related activities in 2018. And we don't get those reports of progress until a year later. We're getting 17 reports now in 2019. And developed 2 brochures, Birding and Sri Meenakshi Temple. And each one of those are there. I'm a AAA member, and I noticed that the Sri Meenakshi Temple brochure was in the AAA magazine, and I thought that's quite interesting. Keep Pearland Beautiful. City transferred operation of that facility to Keep Pearland Beautiful, and they work in the city to help select native plants and other type of activities that related to Keep Pearland Beautiful. They prepared, and I'd have to read this to you too. They provided 4,411 volunteer hours to clean 192 different 1,922 miles, miles over 22,000 pounds. I'm having trouble seeing this. Litter from 16, but you can read better than I can. I'm at an angle where it doesn't clean up very well. But they have done an awfully good job in recycling, and I'll get my eyes fixed later today. Keep Pearland Beautiful. They were here for the American Beautiful spring cleanups that we have every year, and that's a group, some of them that are there. This is somebody I think is very special. Carol Arts and her board of directors have contributed in so many ways to quality of life in Pearland. They've worked with area elected officials and cities to bring regional cooperation together. They're building our economic base. We're working with Bat Buchanan and his economic development group. And they also, every time a new company comes in, they always go out and work with them and give them advice and make them feel welcome. Carol, you've done a good job. I really appreciate you doing it. Challenges of growth. We've grown from 38 to 130,000 people, and a lot of challenges over the last 18 years. But we're still the fourth largest city, third largest city in the area, and we live right next door to the fourth largest city in the nation. Houston's at the center of a mega county region, and they project 4 million citizens over the next 20 plus years, and we're going to get our fair share. And how we prepare for the challenges of that future growth will determine what we're going to be in the future. Plans for the future, we're going to continue the process that we've had in Pearland today, which is proven to be very positive. We will continue building an environment and attract higher value retail, medical, residential development for taxpayers, and we'll continue to provide high quality educational and other contributions that we expect of a quality city. I want to thank you for your attendance today as we remember how Pearland started in 1894 and reviewed our progress over the next few years and what we have particularly focused on in 2018, which is what the program has been today. We have a lot to be proud of, and my job is to make sure that you will always say, I'm glad I live in Pearland. If you want to tune into one of these particular options to contact Pearland, try it, and you can get a copy of this presentation today. And thank you for being here. You're a very wonderful bunch of people.